All right. Good morning. Welcome. Happy Friday, everybody, on this December 6th of 2024. Hard to believe that December is here. Gonna take a few minutes here, just a couple minutes early this morning. And I'm all right with that. If you jump on, let me know where you're at. We got several of the platforms up. I'm gonna share this out here real quick and get some more people on here. It's good to be back into the home studio, even if it's for the week. Might be here next week too. I'm not really sure. Might be in DC. Getting ready for Army Navy. I'll go into that here in a minute. So we're back at it. Good to be back. Last couple weeks. Last week was Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I did. It was spent up in the Northwoods of Wisconsin doing my annual hunting trip. Wasn't what I was hoping for as far as a result, but you have that. I mean that happens every now and then. Better luck next year, I guess. But good time spending it with family and whatnot. So that part of it was good. Want to give a shout out to Boyceville Community School District. I got this when I came back, but they did something. They mail out little cards to veterans and whatnot. So shout out to Connor. I'm not sure what grade Connor is in. I have an idea, and I know the person behind it. So my sister-in-law Bethany, thank you very much for that. But Boyceville Community School District, appreciate you guys. Thanksgiving was good. Ate too much, and yeah, now we're back at it. So I'm gonna take just another minute here, just to get some more people on here. Holiday seasons, it's crazy, right? How many of you guys get stressed during this season? It's supposed to be like a joyful season and whatnot. And I think the thing that really gets me is like my family always asks me, like, what do you want for Christmas? We got to get you something. And I'm always like, bah humbug at this. It's like, I don't care. I don't know. Don't ask me. I haven't thought about what I wanted for Christmas or anything like that. Because quite honestly, I don't really, everything that I want, I'll just end up going to buy myself because it's either I think too expensive or just not something I'm going to ask uh, from somebody. And I know it's probably the wrong attitude to have, and I'm sure I'm going to hear about this when family see this video, but it's whatever. It is what it is. Um, it's tough though, holiday seasons can be stressful, but it can be very joyful at the same time. Getting to spend time with loved ones and whatnot. How many of you guys hang up like Christmas lights on your house and do all that crazy stuff? So let me know. Let me know in the comments here. I'm gonna have somebody reaching out to us on on IG over there. Thank you guys for joining. Appreciate you. Anyway, we're gonna carry on here. If you jump on during the show, great. Leave a comment. Let me know where you guys are at. Like I said, it was out last week and trying to get back into the swing of things. I'm gonna switch things up a little bit. We'll get back into the holiday things here in a bit, but I want to cover some of the news topics that went on this week because I got quite a few of them, and I want to get into those and see what your guys' thoughts are on this. So, first one came out of the Hill. Johnson rejects Biden's request for $24 billion on new Ukraine aid. House Speaker Mike Johnson on Wednesday rejected a House request to pass 24 billion in additional aid to Ukraine by the end of the year, saying any further assistance for Ukraine would be decided by President-elect Trump when he assumes office in January. This was, when I heard this, and I was surprised that we're giving that much money to Ukraine in aid still when we have so many issues here, like in North Carolina. I mean, most of North Carolina that was hit, Asheville and whatnot, hasn't been rebuilt yet. And we're giving all of this money away, or we're wanting to give them, like our government's giving money away to other countries. And here's the other thing about that is you look at it like, we were giving money to the Taliban, like what was it, like in excess of like, I don't know, I want to say like 40 to 80 some $million a day to Taliban to aid them. And that was a couple years ago, I think. But nonetheless, it's like, what are we doing with that money? Why are we aiding so many other places when we should be aiding and spending that money right here at home? Speaking of aiding people, the United States announced more than $1 billion in humanitarian assistance to address food insecurity and other needs in Africa. Earlier this week, President Biden announced that the United States is providing more than $1 billion in additional humanitarian assistance to address food insecurity and other urgent needs of refugees, internally displaced persons, or IDPs, and affected communities in 31 African countries. This funding announced during President Biden's visit included nearly $823 million through U.S. aid, of which more than $202 million is from U.S. Department of Agriculture's Commodity and Credit Corporation, and nearly $186 million through the U.S. Department of State. That's a lot of effing money. And I get that we need, I don't have a problem helping other countries and stuff like that. I get it. But when you're sending that kind of money over and we haven't taken care of issues that we have here in the US, that becomes a big problem. My opinion. What are your guys' thoughts on that? If you guys got any thoughts on that about us just throwing money to other countries in aid, but we can't get our own stuff together here, this should be concerning to people. This is your tax dollars going right out the door and right over to other countries and whatnot. So I thought these first two, 24 billion to Ukraine, and then 24 billion with a B to Ukraine, and then 1 billion to Africa, all happening this week. Now that's, obviously the Ukraine thing, Mike Johnson kind of put a squash on that, but the aid to Africa that was announced earlier this week as well. So again, I think we're spending so much money on other countries, and we should be keeping it here on the home front and rebuilding here. What do we have over here? Tony, my man T. Maybe where he was asleep the whole time. Yeah, we do, man. It's Tony makes it over on Instagram, makes a good point. We need to spend that money here on roads and bridges that need to be fixed. And you can't tell me, I'm not. Oh, I so want to get conspiracy theory on everybody right now because it just fires me up. Like, why are we spending all of that money? That's 25 billion total. Yeah, I did the math right. 24 plus 1. Yeah, 25 billion going to other countries when that money should be directed here in the United States. Build those communities back. North Carolina, Florida, parts of Tennessee, parts of Georgia, all of that stuff is just ugh. It pisses me off. I said it. There, I said it. I was trying to be positive. No, now I'm pissed. And you should be too. Tony. Love you, brother. Moving on. Here's a fun one for all you veterans out there. Here is a fun one for you. Your government hard at work. An investigation uncovers a 12-person orgy at the VA and one official who banged 32 female coworkers. A congressional investigation into sexual misconduct allegations at a troubled doesn't sound like they're in trouble. A troubled veteran affairs facility in Tennessee revealed that at least 12 officials who worked there took part in an orgy. And one employee has had sex with 32 different coworkers. Now, I have to say this. They're unsure of whether the orgy took place in and at the on government grounds. I'll put it that way. 12 staffers also engaged in an orgy together, according to Breitbart, which said it is not clear if it took place on government property, because that's important. This new information is extremely disturbing and leads to committee to believe that there may be serious culture problems at the Mount Home VA. Boy, we could really take that whole different way, right? Was there country music going in the background while they were doing the deed? I don't know. Somebody was two-stepping in the wrong direction, apparently. I just, wow. You know, I mean, like, there's just so many puns to to this. You know, I can understand if it happened. So part of me, like, here's the devil's advocate side of it. Like, why is this news if it didn't happen on government property? Like, if it didn't happen on government property, those 12 people are, doing it in their personal time somewhere else, whatever, unless they had their VA shirts on and were spouting off benefits during the ordeal. I don't know. Now, if it happened on government property, that's really ballsy, first and foremost. And then the other one, like one official who I love how they titled it, banged 32 female coworkers. Like, why? Why bring that up? But again, if it happened on government property, does that mean that it was government funded? Anyway. Oh, it's going to be interesting to see how the VA, what comes of. Oh, yeah, that didn't sound right either. Yeah. Mountain Home VA in Tennessee. Apparently, there's a lot of banging going on other than just country music. Hey, how you doing? Appreciate you guys jumping on. Yeah. All right, let's move on from the VA. Or look that. Don't believe if you don't believe me, look that up. That's literally it was in like three or four different news articles that people were covering. This one here, let's sticking with the veteran side of things. A push to cut veterans' disability benefits is gaining traction, experts warn. This is coming out of Task and Purpose. It's a veteran organization. They phenomenal job. I'm going to post this so you guys can read this from Task and Purpose. I love those guys over there. A growing chorus is calling for cuts of Veteran Affairs disability benefits as a way to save federal dollars. Now, this isn't the first time this has happened. This has happened. We've talked about this in the past. but a move that ignores a very real cost of 2 decades of war and could cause irreparable harm to generations of veterans, experts warn. The most recent call for cuts is a widely criticized opinion article that was in The Economist on November 28th that described veterans disability benefits as absurdly generous. That should piss some of you guys off right off the bat. Experts told Task and Purpose that the essay is a representation of widespread public misconceptions that threaten to reduce veterans' compensation for service-connected health conditions. Excuse me. And I posted this article. It's on the Facebook and our YouTube right now. You guys will be able to see it in the comments. I'll bring this up in the Instagram stuff, but it's the Task and Purpose. If you go to Task and Purpose, so you'll see their article. There he is. Ken, good morning to you, brother. So stay with me. There we are. Having technical difficulties. We're getting a winter storm up here right now, so maybe that's part of the problem. Anyway, Task and Purpose. So this is a great article. It goes in, but I think a lot of this, what happens is the misconception, and they say it in the article several times, about the misconception of what the civilian sector looks at. They're not familiar with the benefits that veterans get through the VA. And that's why there's a threat to, like, oh, this person isn't disabled, blah, 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 blah. And that actually gives an example of that in it. But great article. Look it up. If you're a veteran, this is definitely something you want to keep an eye on. And again, this isn't the first time that we've seen threats towards veteran disability benefits. It's been brought up in the past, but I think a lot is just, I think it's coming up now because of it being, it was an election year and we got a new president coming into office. So I don't know. Those are just my two thoughts on it, but keep an eye on that one as well, folks. All right, let me do I got two more and then we're going to get into the holiday stuff here. Biden. David, good morning, brother. Appreciate you. One of the big articles that happened this week that came out was Biden gives his son Hunter unconditional pardon. Now, after all this time, he said he wasn't going to get involved. And if any of you actually believe that he wasn't going to pardon his son, I think that's an ignorant thought, personally. I saw that coming a mile away. And it like, how do you expect him not to? Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to be I'm trying to be oh, you were hope that you would give the president the benefit of the doubt that he would not look at his son and just be like, oh, yes, you're guilty of this, and this. But that wasn't the case. He literally pardoned his son, who was facing sentencing for 2 criminal cases, despite previously ruling it out. In a statement this week, the president said his son has been signaled out and called his cases a miscarriage of justice. Really? Okay. Joe Biden's full and unconditional pardon for his son comes after the president had repeatedly said he would not give him any clemency. I don't know. Should we be surprised at this point? I think, if anything, that we should see that there's a lot of corruption. I mean, it's borderline criminal that this is happening. And it covers it up. If you dig deeper into this, you'll see kind of the unconditional part of it and just how far back it goes. and you start putting some of the pieces together. Now, why is this important? Because I tell you, don't believe everything that I say. Go look this stuff up. But I'm telling you, this is if you didn't think that there was potential criminal workings in a larger organization that's supposed to watch over the vast majority of the people here, well, knock knock. Reality's on the door, at the door. Oh, Brent, good morning to you. Real quick, tonight, uh, West Point Army football hosts the 2024 American Athletic Conference Football Championship. Tonight, Army 10-1 hosts Tulane 9-3, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time at Mitchkey Stadium up in West Point. This is the first year that Army is in the American Athletic Conference, and they're in the championship game. I'm so proud of this team. They've done an amazing job. I've got to go to a couple of the games, and we'll be there next week in Maryland for the Army Navy game, and we'll do some live stuff well before the game. We can't do it during, for obvious reasons, and then maybe afterwards as well. So stay tuned for that. But congratulations to West Point Army football and the American Athletic Conference, this being their first year. Good luck tonight, fellas, and we'll see you guys next week and that aspect of it. Let's get back into some holiday cheer here. Raise your hand if you like Christmas or holiday. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever. Over the next couple of weeks, some things I'll post about, holiday movies. What's your holiday movies? I think mine was National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's classic, and then you got Christmas Story, and then you got there's another one. Now think of it. Miracle on 34th Street or whatever, 36, whatever it is. And then the big question, right? For my generation, the big question, it happens every year. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? People want to know. Home Alone, that's another Christmas movie. Yep, Home Alone's another one. Ken, I'm assuming that you were saying that Die Hard is, in fact, a Christmas movie. Am I wrong in stating that? David's. Yeah, I knew I could rely on my boys for that one. Nice. All right, guys, we may have to take a survey. I got 2 people right now saying Die Hard is, in fact, a Christmas movie. We're going to keep that one open all month, or at least until Christmas. Holiday drinks. What are some of your holiday drinks other than, cocoa and stuff like that? Cocoa with a little bit of, scotch or bourbon. Always goes a long way with me. Not much on holiday drinks per se. Let me see what else. Traditions. Does anybody have any holiday traditions in their family? I want to hear about them. What are some of your holiday traditions that you have? We had one in my family for the longest time where it was the siblings would take a picture, but you're stacked on top of each other. So the oldest is on the bottom, so my fat ass is on the bottom, and then I got my sister and my younger brother who is much taller and wider than I am. So those just quirky little, holiday traditions and stuff. And then we played board games and stuff one night. And it's just kind of fun, I think, with that. But what are some holiday traditions that you guys have in your families? Let's hear. Let's start spreading some holiday cheer. Mark, what do we got here? What's up, brother? How are you? Oh, okay. So we got one against, one not, saying Die Hard is not a holiday movie. This is what I like. Let's bring it up. Mark, thanks for that, brother. I appreciate you. We got to get together soon. We keep saying that. We got to make it happen. Um, happens during a Christmas party. That is, I like. Okay, okay, that's good. That's good. Let's see here. Another holiday drink. Brent says cranberry ginger ale. Okay. All right, good. So these are some posts that I'm going to be making starting this weekend and through next week. Let's keep this open and play along. Let's have some fun with it. Let's uh let's get kind of into the holiday spirit and have some fun over the next couple of weeks. So give you an idea. Next Friday, I'm not sure if I'm going to be here in the home studio or if I'm going to be down in just outside of DC, gearing up for Army Navy game in Maryland. We will definitely be at the game next week, so stay tuned for that. Then the following week, we'll be back in Wisconsin, and then New Year's we'll be back here. So, and we got a lot of cool stuff coming up. Let me bring this up real quick. If you haven't visited our website, do so over the next couple of days because here by the end of the month, we got a whole new website that's coming out, kind of a different theme, different design, and focusing more on some of the services that we offer, and more importantly, focusing on all the great shows that we have here at HMG. So we did a revamp of that. We're wrapping up this 9-month long process of doing this. I'm really excited about it. It's been a long time coming. We're growing, and I appreciate you guys' support on this. What do we have here? Mark, I will shoot you a text on that for next Wednesday. What do we have over here on Facebook? Jeremy Daniels, Die Hard, Divorce Man's Christmas is a Divorce Man's Christmas. I love it. I love it. David, what do we have here? Okay, I'm gonna have to check that one out. Keep them coming. Keep them coming, guys. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. This is great. Oh, I love it. I love it. You guys are awesome. Keep them coming. Holidays are here. Let's keep them coming. Guys, it's the time I got to move. I got to move forward here. So I talked about the football game tonight, West Point. Make sure you guys watch it. Show some love to the cadets. I brought this up last couple of weeks when I'm going to talk about it a little bit on the shows, but a new streaming comedy series called Office Joe brings humor to veteran to civilian life transition. Office Joe is a new comedy series, excuse me, that premiered on November 11th, just in time for Veterans Day. It was created by Nick Palmisano, who's an Army veteran. He's a New York Times bestselling author and award-winning documentary filmmaker. The series isn't just about laughs. It's about opening doors for veterans in the entertainment and growing movement that has been expanding opportunities for vets on film sets and TV projects over the past several years. Office Joe is available on multiple streaming platforms. It is funny. It's fun to watch. Tasteful. So if you get a chance, look it up. It's called Office Joe. Go check it out. Annette, good morning to you, dear. Thank you for jumping on. Appreciate you. Office Joe. Next month, we're going to be in Florida, Orlando, to be exact, at the Renaissance there at SeaWorld for Podfest. But within Podfest on Thursday, January 16th, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., come see me and everybody else for Military Creator Con. We got a bunch of speakers that are coming out, myself included. We'll be speaking at that. Military Creator Con. If you are in the area or you want to come down, I'm going to leave the Eventbrite link. That'll post here in a minute. Get your tickets there. You can come see us. Let me know if you're going to be there. I'd love to meet up with you. All right, let's get into some of the shows that have happened this week. True Patriot Outfitters, their Doc Talk Show podcast. This past Monday, they went live And for nearly 4 years, they've been doing it on Monday evenings at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. But starting next week, next Tuesday, they're going to be moving to Tuesday nights right here on HMG and on their social media platforms as well. So a lot of stuff going on with Doc Talk Radio, Doc Talk Podcast and True Patriot Outfitters. It's a nonprofit organization that takes veterans and out kayak fishing. They're based out of Colorado, and they do a ton of stuff up and down the mountain region. So if you're into fishing, you like kayak fishing, you want to definitely check them out. Here's another fun fact about the holidays. When you go home and you got an 8-month-old niece that just started daycare, and she comes home and she loves her Uncle Adam, and then coughs in your face, and then your face turns into some petri dish of bacteria and germs and stuff like that, you tend to get a little congested. So I'm a little congested right now. So I apologize, folks, why I'm constantly drinking water. I got an itch in the back of my throat. No, I'm not blaming my 8-month-old niece. I'm just making a simple statement. All right, where are we at here? Next up, the strategic veteran, Jake Dodge, a former Army National Guard medic from 2001 to 2007, shares his inspiring story from the military service to becoming a nationwide reverse mortgage expert. He was inspired by his World War II veteran grandfather. Jake showcases his military values translates into helping seniors achieve financial stability in retirement. Some of the highlights of this show: Jake talks about his service with the South Dakota Army National Guard. He talks about supporting veteran and military spouse-owned businesses, and then making an impact on seniors on retirement planning. So go check that out. The strategic veteran. Excuse me. All right, next up, we got the Homefront Sit Rep podcast. They do a show every Sunday and Monday night. And this past week, they had Nick Palmisano on the show. Talked a little bit about him briefly with Office Joe. Nick graduated from the United States Military Academy at West Point, class of 98 to be exact, and served 6 years as an infantry captain. Nick is the CEO of Diesel Jack Media. He was also the founder of a t-shirt company back in the day called Ranger Up. And he's one of the founding he's the vice president, one of the founding board members of Save Our Allies, which was the organization and effort that rescued 12,000 refugees in the final 10 days of the Afghanistan mission. He was one of the 12 men that physically went to Kabul to assist with the evacuation. Excuse me. He jumps on this week with Homefront Sit Rep to talk about Office Joe and how that came to fruition, why they created that show. So cool episode. Go check it out. Homefront Sit Rep podcast. Next up, we got the JMac show this week. Army veteran and mortgage loan consultant Roxana Branson comes on to talk about her inspiring conversation about her journey through the military service and beyond. She opens up about her highlights or low times in her life in the Army, facing challenges, embracing growth, etc. And then Josh and Roxana explore the mental and emotional hurdles veterans often encounter and the importance of resilience, community, and self-care. So check that out. It's called the JMac podcast. Don't forget, guys, all the shows that I'm mentioning are shows that came out with episodes this week. You can find them at heroesmediagroup.com and then listen to them either there on the website or click on they have different links on their show pages where you can listen to their shows on like Apple and Spotify, etc. Next up, seniorlivingguide.com. Today they dive into something's misunderstood and stigmatized world of hospice care with our designated guest or distinguished guest, excuse me, Tom Moreland. Tom's a senior VP of hospice operations at Traditions Health. He's got over 25 years of experience in home health and hospice, and Tom really breaks this episode down to like what to look for when you have to start talking to hospice care and caring for your elders, loved ones, excuse me. Very eye opening, and kind of those that haven't been put in that position before. These are all good tools to know. I encourage everybody to take a listen to that one. Senior Living Guide, especially if you have parents that are of age, or maybe you're getting up there and you're looking at hospice care. Go check it out, Senior Living Guide, or you can go to seniorlivingguide.com. Next up, we got Patriots Inside the Wire. Wednesday night, they had a special live broadcast featuring Gunny Claus. Really cool guy. Rosie the Riveter. Rosie, it's the actual Rosie. Military Rosie. She was on. And then 3-time Grammy winner Sonny Saseda and Jim McClellan. So good show. Patriots Inside the Wire. 2 shows a week, Monday night and Wednesday nights on Patriots Inside the Wire, social media platforms, or on HMG. Check them out. Next up, Bump in the Road. This week, the risk of nonconformity may be as great as it is perceived. Sure, you don't fit in, but who wants to fit in? Special guest Erica Elliott's journey took her from the Navajo countryside to South America, from mountain climbing to medicine. She talks about her self-realization. It's all about following your intuition, heart, and soul to create a unique path of extraordinary life. Most of all, it's about taking risk and recognizing one's strength. Huge episode here, talking about her journey. Grew up in the Navajo Nation and then moved to South America, getting into holistic medicines and herbal medicines and whatnot. So great episode, Bump in the Road. Check it out. Next up, we got our OG of HMG, the Arms Room Show. This week, they're discussing our failures and successes with urban homesteading. How many of you don't live out in the country and try to homestead in town? I, for one, am one of those people. I have several 5-gallon buckets outside on our patio. Well, they were. I brought them in because it's been cold and freezing. But I've got apple trees, lemon trees. I got an avocado tree. Hell, I even tried a pineapple for a few years. That one ended up dying after year 2. Different herbs, tomatoes, dill, sage. We grow lettuce. I got potatoes. We grow all that stuff in our in buckets, but then we also have a tree garden, a hydroponic tree garden. So interesting stuff. I think this is an interesting episode, and it's if you've thought about growing your own herbs and fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, this is a great episode to listen to, especially if you live in an urban environment. So check it out, the Arms Room Show. Let me see here. Next up, we got Misfit Nation podcast. They do a show 3 nights a week. This one, though, we're talking with Eric Gee, visionary and personality-based life coaching with over 2 decades of experience. Eric shares his transformed lives of more than 20,000 students, parents, and teachers through his unique personality typing method. As a creator of the Utopia Project, the Utopia Project website and the Utopia 16 assessment, Eric has reached over 500,000 users since 2016, making a significant impact in companies like Hulu and Disney, universities, and a slew of other schools and districts throughout the country. This is a pretty cool episode. Utopia. If you want to look it up, it's called his company's called the Utopia Project. You can look it up. Great episode, Misfit Nation podcast. Check it out. Next up, we got Label Free Podcast. Deanna Redolescu welcomes the acclaimed filmmaker Joe Bellinger, known for his impactful documentaries such as Brothers Keeper, Paradise Lost, and Who Killed John Benet Ramsey. Joe shares his journey into notification filmmaking, which sparked his exposure to Holocaust liberation footage during his teenage years. The experience ignited his passion for social justice and storytelling through film. He discusses the importance of balancing activism with storytelling, emphasizing the need to be present on both sides of the narrative to allow viewers to draw their own conclusions. It's called Label Free Podcast. Check it out. We got your 6 at 6 with the People's Patriot Project is up next. And this week they had our buddy Scotty Frazier of the Scotty Frazier Music and Sergeant Records. Scotty gets on and they do 3 of his songs this week. Angel at the Top of My Tree is a new song by Scotty off his Christmas album titled Christmas on the Front Line. And you can make sure you can check out Scotty Frazier on Apple, Spotify, and pretty much everywhere you listen to music. The second song was called Never Surrender. That one's about staying in the fight, not giving up on life. And then the last song that they played was Christmas on the Front Line. That's the title from his new track, a new episode. So check it out. Great episode this week. We got your 6 at 6 every Sunday night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. People's Patriot Project. You can find them live on their Facebook page or here on HMG. Let's see here. I got a couple more. Just a few more, guys. Stay with me here. Other Side of the Firewall is next. They do a show 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. They put out an episode. Today, they did their weekly wrap-up, or their version of their weekly wrap-up. But yesterday, they did one where they talked about the UK's recent initiatives in AI security, highlighting the establishments of the Laboratory for AI Security Research, or LASER, and the importance for collaboration among nations to combat raising AI-fueled cyber threats. We're in that right now. In fact, some would say that we're years behind everybody else when it comes to AI and what's really going on. So is it important? Yes. Is it something we should all learn about? Absolutely. And you can learn more by listening to The Other Side of the Firewall. Check it out. Next up. Pushing Back Chaos. Their last episode that they did, they started talking a conversation about achieving the goal. And the first episode was about kind of gaining clarity on your individual goal, your personal why. This week, they're starting to look at how to build teams that can achieve at the top levels. Mike and Mellon, they share from their decades of experience in military, aviation, and special forces unit about building teams to excel. Working towards excellence involved building individuals and teams along the journey through 4 levels of competence. And they go through all of them here. It's called Pushing Back Chaos. It's definitely one you want to check out. It's a great one. Give it a listen. Let me see here. Next up, we got 2 left, guys. Stay with me. MSEC Podcast. Our friends over at Military Child Education Coalition. It's DODEA's mission is to educate, engage, and empower military-connected students to succeed in the dynamic world. This week, Kathleen Falcon discusses the DODEA's grant programs and how they are being implemented in communities to support military-connected students. If you are active duty, guard, reserve, or you're a veteran that have children that are still of age going to grade school, Military Child Education Coalition is a great resource. They have a ton of tools, and if you're moving around and stuff, it's just a ton of tools that help the kids get situated in a new area. So check them out. MSEC podcast. Last and not least, Chasing Happiness. This week, Ryan Dement opens up about his struggles with the holiday season. I kind of touched base on my own personal opinion earlier in the show. The challenges of being an entrepreneur, how cultivating gratitude has been a game changer in overcoming stress and anxiety. Ryan shares 3 powerful strategies that can help you manage the pressure of the holiday and embrace the spirit of gratitude. Find out what they are. Listen to Chasing Happiness. It puts out a new episode every Saturday. Special shout out. As we're winding down the year, I want to give a huge thanks to our network sponsors for 2024. Jim Neary's Live Bait and Tackle. They always hook me up with fishing gear. Love this organization. Love this business to death. Warriors on the Water Ltd. Same thing. They take veterans and first responders out fishing, and they got a ton of stuff coming up in 2025. These two have renewed and will be back on to sponsor the network in 2025. Thank you both very much. Motorcycle safety lawyers. If you ride, you need these guys on speed dial. They do a ton of stuff for veterans and for first responders. They're huge in the veteran community. Motorcycle safety lawyers, go check them out. Veteran-owned business, Forget Genetics. Great product. If you are a hunter, make sure you look at Forget Genetics. This is the type of stuff that you want in your woods to bring the animals in. You'll absolutely love their stuff. Veteran-owned. Forget Genetics. Thank you. My Tax Fella. My boy Anthony, he's been a good friend for 9 years. He's done all of our business stuff and my personal stuff over the last almost decade now. So if you are starting a business or you have a business and you need help with bookkeeping and you want your taxes done, go see mytaxfella.com. Check them out. JB Auto Clothiers, another veteran-owned company, great organization. And of course, last but not least, our sister company, HMG Beverage, and we're going to have some holiday specials coming up this weekend, so stay tuned for that because I will be posting about the coffee and some gift baskets that we are doing for the holiday season. Don't forget to stay tuned for the holiday. It's the holidays. Let's try to be happy. Just do. Be positive this holiday season, no matter what happens and all the stuff that's going on. If somebody's asking you constantly what you want for Christmas and you have no idea, just think of something small then. I'm going to be posting holiday movies, holiday drinks, holiday traditions. We want to hear from you. Shout out to West Point Army football. Good luck tonight in the championship game. Next week, we're either going to be here or down by the stadium. Stay tuned for that. We will be at Army Navy next week for sure. So that being said, that's it. That's all the time. For all of you that came on Facebook, on YouTube, I got a bunch of you on Instagram today. Thank you. Means the world to me. I appreciate all of you. And that being said, let's have a great weekend, everybody. Smile a lot. Know someone cares. God bless you. God bless America. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.